Hello, Florence, old girl, said Mr. Rusty. How are you, me old beauty? Don't ask. I feel a bit agitated today, to tell the truth, said Florence. Oh, dear. Agitated, don't know the meaning of the word, said Zebedee. Have you tried Tai Chi, said Mr. Rusty. It's very good for the nerves. I just don't seem to be able to relax. Fancy a game of hide-and-seek, said Zebedee. OK, why not, said Florence. Come on, everybody. Florence is feeling a bit tetchy, so we're going to have a game of hide-and-seek to cheer her up. Oh, super, said Brian. My favourite. Hello, said Florence. Party games, said Dougal. Now, how do you play hide-and-seek? Everybody hides. One person counts, said Florence. Everybody counts, said Mr. McHenry. Yeah, like we all count right, said Dylan. Oh, for heaven's sake, said Dougal. This is getting out of hand, said Zebedee. One person counts, everyone else goes and hides. I think we should all, hide in the same place so we can share the experience, said Dylan. I'll count, said Brian, helpfully. I didn't know you could, said Dougal. Oh dear, this isn't helping my mood at all, said Florence, tetchily. Come on then, said Dougal. I suppose we'll have to humour her. Hey, go with the flow. Right, said Mr. Rusty. Let's go, said Zebedee, and went. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9, 14, 71, 32. Now, behind a tree? No, that's a bit obvious. There must be a hiding place somewhere around here where I can get a nice cup of tea, said Dougal. No one'll see me if I go fast enough, said Mr. McHenry, stupidly. Oh, this is so childish, said Florence. Now, let me see, said Dougal. This looks very promising. Hey, I'm invisible, said Mr. McHenry. Oh, this'll just have to do, said Florence. Coming, ready or not, said Brian. Never find me in a million years, said Dougal. See what I mean? Myopic mollusk. This won't take long, said Brian. Nobody ever notices me anyway, said Mr. McHenry. Do you give up then? Said Dougal. Definitely, said Dylan. I spy with my little eye, said Brian, something beginning with Mr. Rusty. OK, you got me, said Mr. Rusty, who was beginning to worry about the time anyway. And Dougal's in that vase, said Brian. It was easy. How did you know, said Dougal. Hello, Mr. McHenry, said Brian. Lovely day. Cheat, said Dougal. And Zebedee's behind the tree, and Florence is behind the flower. Well done, said Florence. He looked, said Dougal. Did I win? Said Dylan. You're meant to close your eyes when you do the counting, said Florence. Anyone for a game of Monopoly, said Zebedee. Hello, Dougal, said Florence. What are you doing? Keep away from my sugar, said Dougal. Oh, sorry. Yes, this is all mine. Oh, really? Said Florence. Yes, I need all of this because I'm hypoglycemic, you know. Oh, said Florence. I never knew. You poor thing. Yes, I mean, normally I'd share some with you, but under the circumstances, I hope you understand. Only too well, said Florence. Yes, this should just about be enough to keep my metabolism on an even keel, said Dougal. Oh, said Florence. Yes, otherwise I might start to feel a bit droopy and drowsy and weak. And you wouldn't want that, would you? No, no, no.
Anything but that, said Florence. Why don't you just take some exercise?
Good idea, said Dougal. Let's go. Come on, slow coach. Not so fast, said Florence. Wait for me. Got to stay fit, said Dougal. Yes, all right, said Florence, but within moderation. What's this? Said Dougal. Looks like an onion, said Florence. Yes, said Dougal. Smells like one too. Why don't you ask it? Said Florence. No, I don't like to. I'm shy, said Dougal. Good morning. Good morning, said Florence. There's nothing like a really good stretch, is there? Could you tell us, said Florence as politely as she could, what you are? It's definitely an onion, said Dougal. Looks like one, smells like one. My eyes are stinging already. Do you mean cosmically speaking? I suppose I do, yes, said Florence. There are so many levels of reality, so many layers of truth, don't you think? Oh, that's so true, said Florence. Absolutely. Oh, no, don't start her off, said Dougal. I've always thought that too, you know, said Florence. Here we go, said Dougal. It's an onion, said Dougal, plain and simple. An onion, perhaps, or maybe a beautiful blue flower. If you're a blue flower, I'm a pair of pink pyjamas, said Dougal. Hello, big boy. You see, Dougal, nothing is what it seems. Still smells like an onion to me. And you look like a pair of pink pyjamas to me. You see, it's all relative. Well, you're no relative of mine, said Dougal, huffily. For what is the secret of life but a never-ending cycle of change and mystery? Oh, good grief, said Dougal. Oh, well done, said Florence. That was beautiful. I think I can feel my hyperglycemia coming on again, said Dougal. I'm beginning to feel all weak. Oh, are you going so soon, said Florence, quite pleased. If you'll excuse me. Bye-bye, darling. Well, you're not having any of my sugar. I wouldn't dream of it, Petal. I think it must be time for supper, said Zebedee, whose tummy was rumbling. Is anyone capable of seeing life as it really is? Or is it all merely an illusion, said Florence. I think you're just tired, said Mr. Rusty. Either that or hungry. It all seems so intrinsically symbiotic, said Florence. Don't ask me, said Mr. Rusty. Maybe you should eat more green vegetables. Dougal had decided it was time for some Highland games. Come on, you retarded rabbit, you half-witted hare, we're nearly there, said Dougal to Dillon. Hey, man, this tartan is too much, and like my kilt is killing me, said Dillon. Can we, press the pause button on this whole Highland thing? Hello there, said Florence. What are you two doing? Ah, McFlorence of the McFlorences, said Dougal. Are you coming to the Highland Games? Highland Games, said Florence. Oh dear. Yes, tossing the caber, shinty, dancing a jig, that sort of thing. And blowing the pipes, said Dillon, and sat down to play. And eating porridge and watching McTaggart, you know, said Dougal. Hello there, said Mr. McHenry.
Hello, said Florence.
Ah, McHenry of the McHenrys, said Dougal. And why are you not wearing the colours of your clan?
Are we having some Highland games then, said Mr. McHenry.
Yes, said Dougal, and we'll be playing lots of old Andy Stewart records too.
Will you be hurling? Asked Mr. McHenry.
Hurling, said Florence.
Aye, said Mr. McHenry, Scottishly. Hurling the flurling, you'll be needing this.
Hurling the flurling, said Dougal. Never heard of it. Looks more like a broken old rugby ball to me. This is not the Five Nations Championship. This is a celebration of Scottishness.
Your flurling does look a bit forlorn, said Florence.
Oh, not really, said Mr. McHenry. Just a few stitches in it and it'll be happy as Hogmanay. And that's like really happy, right? Said Dillon.
Maybe I could help, said Florence.
Hello, said Zebedee.
Hello, Zebedee, said Florence. Could you help? I'd like to mend Mr. McHenry's flurling.
Ah, a needle.
Thank you, yes, that's a start.
Flurling, said Zebedee suspiciously.
I've never heard of that one, but then I'm from the south.
There you are, you see, said Dougal. He's never heard of it either. Now, can we get on? And, of course, a real, genuine flurling, said Mr. McHenry, is made from dog's hair.
Is it? Said Florence. That's interesting.
That's right, said Mr. McHenry. What? Said Dougal. Well, you're not having one of mine. Oh, said Mr. McHenry, but the games wouldn't be the same without a genuine dog's hair flurling. Keep away from me, said Dougal, you Celtic carnivore. Oh, keep away, you scheming Scot.
How do you think I'd look in a sporran? Said Zebedee. Pretty silly, said Florence.
Hey, one of my ancestors was Scotch, said Dillon. Scotch is a drink, said Dougal, not a place or a person. When will you Americans get it into your buddy rabbit brains that being Scottish and... Oh, what was that? You...
There you are, said Mr. McHenry, and gave Florence one of Dougal's hairs. Thank you, said Florence, and started sewing.
That really hurt, said Dougal. I'm bald now. I've got a bald bottom. I can feel the breeze blowing right up my breeks. I'm all chilly under the kilt, and it's all your fault, you Sassenach on a stick.
There you are, said Florence. Finished.
Thank you, said Mr. McHenry. Right, now we can go and play some American football.
Now that sounds more like it, said Zebedee.
Yeah, said Dillon. The Garden Giants versus the Roundabout Reds. What? Come back here, said Dougal.
Wait for me. Do you need a quarterback? Hut, hut, hut.
Hello, Twits, said Dougal.
Hello, Dougal, said the Twits. Into the lovely outdoorsy day. All springy and outdoorsy.
It is unless you get hay fever, said Dougal.
Hello, everyone, said Florence.
Hello, Florence, said the Twits. We were just saying how lovely and outdoorsy and springy it is today.
Yes, it is nice, said Florence. Unless you get hay fever, said Dougal.
Oh, the smells of spring, as our auntie used to say, the blooming flowers and the smell of freshly cut grass.
Freshly cut grass? Where? said Dougal.
Yes, and the lovely pussy willow on the wind, and the... Oops.
Come on, Dougal, said Florence.
It always makes us feel like flapping our wings, doesn't it? Oh, yes, it does, just like our auntie, flitting about in the trees on the scented breeze.
Well, it just gives me a runny nose and sore eyes and a dry throat, said Dougal, and it makes me want to, well, sneeze, actually, but I think I'm managing to keep it under control. Achoo! Achoo! Oh, dear.
Oh, dear, you poor thing, said the Twits. Yes, you poor thing. Oh, you've got an allergy. He's got an allergy, hasn't he? We'd better take you to the doctor. We'll soon have you sorted out. Oh, yes, the doctor will soon have you sorted out. Here we are.
What seems to be the problem?
Our doggy friend here seems to be suffering from hay fever, doesn't he? Yes, he does. He's suffering from hay fever.
Yes, said Florence. He's been sneezing.
Right, said the doctor. Let's have a look at you, then.
Yes. And I've got a runny nose and sore eyes, said Dougal. Well, all these things are stress-related these days, you know. You're probably imagining it. What you need is relaxation, something to take your mind off it. Have you ever tried hypnotherapy? What? Said Dougal. I don't know, said Florence. Maybe he's right.
Oh, yes, said the twits. Our auntie tried a hypnotist for a bad wing, didn't she?
Alternative medicine, said Dougal.
Well, why not give it a try? It's very soothing.
Just relax. Breathe deep. You feel drowsy and sleepy. Relax. It's easy. Easy peasy wheezy. Easy peasy. Easy peasy pie. Count to 10. Let it all go and then just imagine you're as light as a feather being blown on the gentle breeze.
Well, the earth didn't move for me, said Dougal. It was very pleasant, though, said Florence. Enough of all this nonsense. What you need is lots of exercise, regular meals, and plenty of rest. Oh, look, it's the flying second opinion, said Dougal. Who asked you?
No, no, no. Dr. Peacock is right. You need plenty of rest. That's what our auntie always used to say.
Couldn't I just have an aspirin, said Dougal. There, look, I've done my exercise.
Here's our auntie's pillow that she made. Now you lie down and have a good night's rest on that. Yes, you lie down and have a good night's rest. Lovely.
Said Dougal. A feather pillow, no doubt.
Only the best for our auntie. It's lovely and soft, that pillow.
Night-night, Dougal, said Florence.
Yes, nighty-nighty, doogly-woogly, you poor little hay-fevery thingy, you.
Has Dougal got hay fever? Said Zebedee. Yes, said Florence, and the doctors told him to get some rest. Oh, said Zebedee, thoughtfully. Ignore it and it'll go away. That's what my auntie always used to say. So long, said Florence. If there's one thing I'm allergic to, said Dougal, it's doctors and aunties. Now, what shall I do with this? There we are. Achoo! Hello, Mr. Rusty, said Florence. Howdy doody, Florence, said Mr. Rusty, and what are you up to? I thought I might go and pick some wildflowers and herbs and things for my nature project. Good idea, said Zebedee. It could be very educational. And quite enjoyable too, I hope, said Florence. Hello, Dougal, said Florence. Fancy going on a nature ramble? Hi there, hop pickers, said Mr. McHenry. Hello, Mr. McHenry, said Florence. So, you're going on a hike? Yes, said Florence. Just the right kind of a day for picking mushrooms, said Mr. McHenry. But make sure you don't eat any. Oh, no, said Florence. Yes, they spring up overnight, you know, when the conditions are right. Oh, said Florence. We'll look out for that. Said Dougal. Well, there's none sprung up around here. Come on, Dougal, said Florence. Let's go and see if we can find some interesting things for my nature table. Said Dougal. Mushrooms, yes. Now, which way do we go? This way, said Florence. Yes, said Dougal. I quite fancy some mushrooms, sliced up and fried in butter, have 'em on toast, or stirred into a creamy sauce with spaghetti. Oh, look, said Florence. That's interesting. Is it? Said Dougal. Oh, we could always put them with some melted cheese and a squeeze of tomato puree on bread. Have a sort of homemade mushroom pizza. No, said Florence, we're not going to eat them. We're going to look at them under microscopes and things. Hello, Dylan, said Florence. Ah, a garden gnome, said Dougal. Hey, wow, said Dylan, waking up. Mushrooms. They must have sprung up overnight. Either that or fallen from the sky. Oh, look, it speaks, said Dougal. Now, Dougal, don't eat any of them, will you? Said Florence. Why not? Said Dougal. Time to move on, said Dylan. Sometimes I think that rabbit would make a good specimen on a nature table, said Dougal. You can't eat them because we don't know which ones are poisonous, said Florence. I'd just have a little nibble. Be all right, wouldn't it? Said Dougal. No, Dougal, said Florence. This is a scientific experiment. Ooh! What on earth? Said Dougal. Oh, look, it got bigger, said Florence. I can see that, said Dougal. There's enough for a casserole there. I wonder if they're all like that, said Florence, picking another mushroom. Ooh, yes, look. Careful, said Dougal. I don't like the look of this. These mushrooms must be magic. Do you think so, said Florence. Oh, look, it's turned into a little umbrella. What's it playing at now, treacherous toadstool? Ooh, oh. Watch out, said Dougal. That's a poisonous parasol. It's got spots on the top. Oh, look, said Florence. It's got bigger again. Philandering fungus, said Dougal, who was a bit scared. I've always wanted one of these, said Florence. Oh, wow, the temperature's rising, said Dylan, and went off to look for some shade. Dylan, called Florence. Yeah, said Dylan, sleepily. Be careful, said Dougal. She's picked a Parasolicus botanicus. There you are, said Florence. Try this. Thank you, said Dylan. Now this is cool. Of course, you know what's going to happen if they keep getting bigger, don't you? Said Zebedee. No, said Florence. There won't be much room for anything else. What an absolutely pathetic joke, said Dougal. Well, it was only a matter of time before someone said it, said Florence. Just glad it wasn't me.